Good day, everybody. Hi, I'm John Russell, owner of The Business Source and author of Be a Stand-Up Leader, the ABCs of Getting the Job Done Right. I'm here with my good partner and video marketing expert, Jared Whitman, owner of Whitman Media. And Jared and Lucas behind the camera here are nice enough to set this podcast up. Can't say enough how much I appreciate it. We're going through the book chapter by chapter, and we're going to cover each chapter in a little podcast to talk more specifically about the subject at hand. And we're about halfway through the book, I think. And
more than half.
It's exciting because it's good for us to break down the topic and have a conversation where we get two different viewpoints, because Jared's got some different perspectives than old John here. And so I love the yin and the yang between us in terms of different perspectives. Today, we're going to talk about recruitment. Jared, you've been involved in a number of businesses.
Yep.
What are some of your observations as it relates to the companies you've worked for recruitment program?
I think I helped out. I was a part of implementing the start of the recruitment program. I think there's a couple different ways that you can go about recruiting. I have a big background in video, so I'm always going to be a huge proponent of video. So capturing the culture that you have throughout your company, capturing
selling the company
through your employees' eyes. So it's like if you get a video testimonial from a client who's a raving fan of your company, you should also get a employee spotlight video of employees that are raving fans.
Why did they come to work there?
Yeah. Why do they love it? Why
have you done that?
Yeah. Yeah.
What was it like?
That we implement. So we set it up and recorded for 30 minutes, asked the same questions. We got a piece of content that talked about the employee's point of view, and then we extracted answers from those questions from 5 or 6 different employees and brought them together into a 30-second ad that then we used on social media, we used on OTT, we did on traditional TV a couple times. And it was a story of why employees recommended working at the company. So that was super beneficial because you could follow the story from start to finish from 5 different people's points of views. But capturing your culture, that is everything. What is your company doing? What are the core values that your company has? How does the company impact the communities that they're in? What are they doing to give back? What types of charities are they in? What kind of charities do they support? What's important to the company? And are you capturing that so that you can let your people know, or prospective employees know, what it's like to work and what you value as a company?
Right. Have you experienced working with a business that was short-staffed?
Yes.
And what was the problem there?
The problem was too much marketing and not pulling it back.
What do you mean by that?
Like they didn't have enough technicians to...
Oh, they oversold their service promise.
Yeah.
And they couldn't deliver.
Correct.
So they're shorthanded, and does that create panic in their world?
Yeah, it creates panic because it takes a long time to find the right person. You want to make sure, and then you have to train the right person.
Right.
And I think another way that goes about recruiting, like too many people are focused on the intro side of recruiting. Intro side being, let's get people in, let's hire them, right? But what about this first 90 days, first 6 months of an employee's lifespan in the company? What are you doing to check in with that employee? What are you doing to follow up with that employee? What are you doing to make sure that this relationship continues to prosper and that this employee decides at this 6-month mark that they want to work for your company as a long-term gig?
Right. I always try to tell my clients when I'm involved in a recruitment project that the business has a set of expectations for the employee.
Yeah.
And then the employee has a set of expectations for the company.
Yep.
And you really can't see how those come together until the employee is on on board.
Right.
So I've seen companies where they have a very specific onboarding and orientation process.
Yeah.
Like in some cases, you might get hired and maybe for 6 months, you'd be in orientation and training.
Right.
Before they let you go ahead and take over that position. It depends on the technicality of it, and there's a lot of industries we've worked with in the home services category where like roofing, HVAC, lawn care, windows and siding. It's not a skill that just comes off the street.
Right.
You have to have gone to school for a specific education in order to participate in that job.
Yeah, I think there's certain competencies that need to that the person needs to have in order for them to fully grasp and understand the importance of their work.
So I have seen on numerous occasions situations that have come up where an employee leaves, or 2 employees leave, or 3 employees leave, depends on the situation. But let's just say 1 person leaves. That person represents a certain amount of revenue for the company.
Right.
So person quits, that revenue stream is gone. And so the company says, oh, let's put an ad out there, and let's go on Indeed, or let's go on LinkedIn, or let's go on Facebook or wherever, and let's advertise for that open position. Well, finding somebody who has experience, who knows how to do that job, who's unemployed,
right,
is almost impossible.
Yep.
I'm experiencing it now with a particular client that I'm working for.
Yeah.
We've just finished 2-week campaign on Indeed. Spent $500 and some odd.
Right.
Got 50 applicants.
It's quite a bit.
It sounds like a lot. 1 person had some of the experience that was going to be required to do the job.
Okay.
The other 49 were just sending out resumes so that they can keep collecting unemployment.
Right.
I'm just being brutally honest.
Yeah.
0 qualifications. You want to see the long look on the owner's face when they see these applicants continue to flow in.
Right.
And none have the experience necessary. It's brutal.
I think this goes back to like building a bench. You're not necessarily building a bunch of people around you, but you always want to be in a state of recruiting so that you can fill a need as it comes up, or teach someone, maybe even do a internal training program with connect with a school.
Maybe have open houses and job fairs periodically.
Do that. You can't just focus. It's similar to marketing. You shouldn't just focus on one tactic. You should have a content strategy for recruitment and company culture. You should have a marketing campaign to go into recruitment, and it should be a continuous thing. You have reach, frequency, consistency. We just talked about that. That happens
it's no different.
All marketing campaigns, all marketing tactics, recruitments, prospects, current customers, all of it. It's important to be consistent and show your brand throughout the marketplace so that you can connect and build a relationship between your brand and the person that you're looking for.
So let's say, for the sake of discussion, that these, I'll use home service categories as an example, but it could be IT. It could be a lot of different technical jobs that require education, whatever. If you think people are just sitting out there waiting for you to call them because they have the skills that you need, they're not available.
Right.
Almost everybody in the prospect pool who knows what they're doing is working somewhere else. So you have to be persuasive enough to cause somebody to want to quit their current job and come to work for you. Who wants to give up the job security for a maybe?
Right.
You don't know what you're getting into over there. It could
Right.
be a wholly different situation.
I think, and here's like if you're people who put up a permanent now hiring sign, I think that detracts their hiring process, because why are they always hiring?
You're right. Can't keep good people.
Correct.
Yeah. What's the reason the last person left?
Yeah.
I always want to know that.
Yeah.
Right. And you can look and see on Glassdoor and some of these other websites what the reviews are from past employees. It's pretty revealing.
Since you brought up Glassdoor, I think it's important for companies to also figure out, be the upper person, be the bigger person when it comes to an employee leaving a negative review.
Right.
If you're replying to that negative review in a petty, superficial, dumbass manner,
right,
that is going to relate to your company. I was looking at interviewing with a company, and I solely did not move forward because of the replies on the Glassdoor 1-star comments.
It's pretty hard to hide with social media these days.
Yeah, you have to be very specific about how you show up online, no matter where it is. Customers leaving 1-star reviews, employees leaving 1-star reviews. Be the bigger person. Do not be a dickhead.
I don't know. Do companies still do exit interviews? They used to do those when I was previous lives.
The last 2 jobs that I had, I got one because I asked for it, and then I didn't get the other one. So
that's where you have a chance, whether you're an HR person or you're a manager or you're an owner, to find out why you're leaving.
Right.
What is the situation here? How could we have done better?
Yeah.
What should we have done? And by then it's too late to try to keep somebody.
Yeah.
Because they've already clicked out.
Here's the thing with an exit interview. If you're going to just do an exit interview to say that you do exit interviews, don't do the frickin' exit interview. This is your opportunity to see why they're leaving, see where your blind spots are,
exactly.
and then take action on those blind spots.
Close the gap.
Correct. So that you're saving time and money between the next person leaving and the next person you have to hire.
Yeah. I ran the numbers one time when I was in sales. Let's just say, for the sake of discussion, that this person generated $250,000 in revenue.
Yeah.
And they get a better offer to go across the street. So you're going to lose $250,000 out the door. Some of it you'll be able to save.
Right.
But some of it's going to go with the relationship, maybe. So then, okay, you're out $200,000. Then you have to bring in somebody new. So it costs money to recruit quite a bit. It's not cheap.
Yeah.
A small campaign is $500. If you want to do anything significant, it's a couple thousand or more. And that's just for one job for one time.
Right.
So then, what was I saying?
Costs a significant amount of money.
Oh, yeah. So you're generating $250,000. That money leaves. So now you have to train a new person. Well, that's going to cost money because somebody else has to leave what they're doing to train that person. Let's put a price tag on that, $50,000.
Yep.
And then how long is it going to take for that person to ramp up the relationships to get back to $250,000?
Right. A long time.
Maybe a year.
Yeah.
Maybe 2.
Yeah.
So on the low end, you're losing $200,000.
Right.
On the high end, you're losing $500,000.
Right.
In a sales situation where you got a producer.
Yep.
Not so much in a different type of job where they're not into big money like that. The cost to be recruiting on a more consistent basis is a lot less than losing a key employee to a competitor, nonetheless.
I think it's so much more beneficial to. I really think it comes down to communication. Poor communication equates assumptions. It creates a poor relationship. It equates a lot of different things. So if you have effective communication, follow-up and check-ins, be a stand-up leader when it comes to recruitment. You shouldn't have to worry about losing people because you are there for the people. You're there for their success. You're there to help them reach their goals. And in return, they'll help you build a successful business. I feel like it just comes down to really shitty communication from a manager
and not caring
to an employee. Yeah, correct. It doesn't take a lot to be a good
too busy leader. Chasing the other end of the dragon.
Yeah.
So, we talked about this when it comes down to hiring new employees, find out what their goals are in life. Find out what's in their heart. Find out what they're trying to accomplish outside of work. And seriously, figure out a way through your work and through your leadership as a stand-up leader to help them achieve their goal.
Yeah.
This is really critical. And they'll help you achieve yours. I've seen people who will go to the end of the world for their companies. I've been kind of in those positions on a number of occasions. And you meet people who are committed, dedicated, loyal, disciplined. They're never leaving.
Right.
Because you helped them achieve their goals.
Yeah.
And you just happen to be your company was the vehicle for it.
Right.
How much time does it take to get with somebody to find out what's important to them and where are they trying to go, and then chart a course a little bit so that you can help them achieve their goals, and they'll help you achieve all your goals as a business owner.
Yeah.
It's not that difficult. I've screened and interviewed hundreds of employee candidates for clients. I love this part of my work where I get involved in recruitment. I'm not in HR,
right,
but I'm a good evaluator of character right out of the blocks. And I can tell in a few minutes whether or not the person I'm sitting across from has the right stuff or not.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, I don't understand. They show up and they're not prepared. They don't know what they're doing.
Right.
But the reality is if I was to get you an interview with the owner of the company, because I'm screening the front end.
Right.
What are you going to bring to the table? And I give people an exercise. I don't know if I told you this before.
I don't think so.
This is my assignment. If I like you as a candidate and I'm going to consider moving you along in the hiring process to an interview with the department head or the owner of the business, I give people an exercise. What I tell them is this. I want you to leave today and within 1 week, get back to me and write down for me what it is that you're going to bring to this company that's going to make a difference. 1 page or less.
Okay.
And then I also ask them, let me think of exactly how I phrased it is, write down for me what your participation or your role in the company is going to be that's going to benefit the direction of the company. I can't remember the exact words, but they have to go back and think about what they're going to bring to the table.
Right.
And if they haven't done their homework, they have nowhere to go with that. It's no clue.
Yeah.
And you know what? The people that can complete that assignment, just complete the assignment. Almost always rise up and get another shot.
Yep.
But I like to screen people before I bring them into the owner because I don't want to waste their time with a bad candidate.
Yeah.
So the benefits and perks that companies provide employees is important, but most importantly, find out what the employee wants to achieve in their life.
Yeah.
And help them achieve their dreams, and they'll stay with you forever. Assuming the compensation and everything's even.
But at the end of the day, always be recruiting and
always
looking
be
for
recruiting.
the people.
You can't just wait till there's a fire and then hope that the fire department's here in short order.
Correct.
You need to install a fire alarm. You need to install a sprinkler system. You need to have
all the components.
Everything set up. And then why not just make your company available? And like you said, open houses, career fair, public tours. There's a lot of things you can do that are better than waiting until the last minute when you're in trouble.
Proactive versus reactive.
Yeah. Be consistent.
Yeah.
And get out in front of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Recruitment's a tough thing.
What a great,
hard to find good people.
great conversation on recruitment we just had.
Well, there's a lot more to it than that, but in reality, be the company that people want to work for.
Yeah.
And that's amazing by itself.
Yep.
So that covers recruitment for today. Thanks for being with us. I'm John Russell, owner of the Business Source. I'm here with my good friend Jared Whitman, Whitman Media. And Lucas is behind the screen there, behind the camera. We appreciate that, Lucas. Thanks for being with us. Check us out on YouTube. Go ahead and like and subscribe. And if you need help with your recruitment efforts, your advertising, your marketing, or your video, give Jared or I a call. We'll be happy to help you out. Thanks again for being with us.